What's up guys, Steven here with another video for you. Today is election day across the country. We got a lot of gubernatorial, local elections, stuff like that. And one of the most interesting ones to me that I keep seeing popping up on my feed and stuff is the New York election with the famous candidate Zohran Mamdani. So we're going to do a little deep dive here, take a look at what's going on in this election on election day. So this was the first thing that popped up on my feed today when I was looking. It's Zohran Mamdani is blaming Trump for bomb threats at polling places in New Jersey. I thought he was running for New York, but...
Incredibly concerning. And I think that it is an illustration of the attacks we're seeing on our democracy. Sometimes they're blatant and explicit in the manner of these bomb threats, and we have to understand this as part of the general approach the Trump administration has taken to trying to intimidate voters with...
What steps have been gone to intimidate voters? I don't understand that. I hear this talked about all the time, like when voter IDs and stuff come up, is that it intimidates vote. Like, who doesn't have an ID? Like, that seems like such a messed up thing. I remember I was talking to somebody about it, and they were like, oh, well, there's a lot of lower-end African-American and Hispanics. And I'm like, dude, that's got to be one of the most racist things I've ever heard. Is you saying these people are too dumb to be able to get an ID? Everybody's got a damn ID. So, like, that's not intimidation. I'm assuming what he's alluding to is that they're arresting illegal immigrants, but in that case, illegal immigrants shouldn't be voting. So I don't know.
Baseless allegations of voter fraud as a means of trying to repress the voice of Americans across this country.
I don't know if he's going to get that question again today, but the general approach the Trump administration has taken to try and intimidate voters, unless we heard him incorrectly, what in the world is he talking about?
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt too. And then he was, he looped it. I don't even, what?
Has taken to trying to intimidate voters with baseless allegations of voter fraud.
Baseless allegations of voter fraud. How does that intimidate real voters? I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, I opened up a bunch of different tabs here so you could kind of go over a few things, but take a look at this. This is a TikTok posted by somebody in New York.
I'm here in New York, about to illegally vote for Zohran Mamdani 6 times. Yeah. 6.
Yeah, baseless allegations of voter fraud. Now, I don't know, that's just, a random video that came up. That could be anything. Right, here's another one. Just put in my 1,000 illegal ballots for Mamdani. Okay. And here we have video of a woman campaigning for Mamdani right outside of a voting area, wearing the Mamdani hat, handing out Mamdani flyers, which, if you guys know anything about politics, you're not allowed to, you're not allowed to campaign outside of a voting location in most places. I don't know if that's universal, but I think that's in most places. Here's another thing I saw that came up. A lot of people sharing pictures of the ballots as they're going in to vote. It's got Zohran Mamdani listed twice, and then Cuomo here in the 2, 4, 6, 7th, 8th position, under I. Now, I mean, just using general psychology, right? Like, I worked in retail sales for a long time, and anyone who's been in sales for a long time really knows, like, the option A, option B, option C type of close where, you give somebody the best options that gives them all the things they want and is most beneficial to you as the salesperson as the first option. Then option B is kind of a junk option that nobody really wants. And then, option C is kind of a happy medium, right? You're hoping they either pick the happy medium or the best option. So having him listed multiple times here, I don't know, the psychology of it to me just screams like that this is your best option. Like, you read Zohran, that's your best option. And then you got, oh, we don't want no Republican. Oh, we don't want no conservative. Oh, there's Zohran again. Man, he is really the best, isn't he? And then Cuomo, who, from what I understand, is like the leading contender, to take on Mamdani, is listed all the way down here after all these people. So that's kind of interesting. This is from a little bit ago, but it popped up on my feed talking about Zohran Mamdani's political positions being illegal. Thought it would be kind of interesting to listen to, so let's hear what Tim has to say.
8 USC 1324A makes it a crime to aid and abet, to induce or entice illegal immigration. If you are a public official that is outright saying, we will do everything in our power to make sure if you are here illegally, you can stay, and we will stop ICE, you are inducing and you are abetting. And that's a crime. Now, if you want to add on,
yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows that's a crime. I don't know why they're not punishing it. I don't know why Trump and the DOJ and other officials aren't going after these politicians that are directly violating the law. I don't get it. Haven't gotten it. I've said many times, I feel like Trump needs to be way more judicial than he's being. Take these people on, take them down. I mean, it's just now we started getting arrests from the riots in LA. And even that, I mean, the number of arrests was relatively small compared to the amount of crazy destruction and lawlessness we saw. I don't know why they're being so weak on crime and corruption and everything else. I don't get it. It's one of the key things he ran on. Is he doing some stuff towards stopping it? Absolutely. But, in my opinion, at least, he's acting like a meter maid instead of a police officer.
on top of it, sedition, right, which is actions to undermine the authority of the United States, we could argue that a public official in the biggest city in the country outright saying, we will defy the federal law and make sure the will of the American people be damned to protect you who came here illegally, I say you got a sedition case.
I mean, you can say it, but I don't think anyone would bring it.
Well, because they're cowards.
I just don't think that's technically just not how the law is usually applied. I mean, politicians...
I don't care how it's usually applied. I care that we had 10 plus million illegal immigrants come into this country, spitting in the faces of the younger generation.
Were Trump's quote-unquote 34 felonies how the law is usually applied? No. Yeah.
Who can't afford houses and can't find work. And now you've got mayoral candidates that are basically saying, we will entrench this and the American people's will be damned. Let me just stress that again. Zohran Mamdani's official public position is the laws of this country and the will of the American voter that elected Donald Trump are shit to him. And he will do whatever he can to make sure the people who broke those laws and spat in the face of Americans are protected. Now, the problem is Republicans are cowards and jellyfish who won't actually enforce the law as it was written and codified for these reasons.
I mean, exactly. I don't get why they don't. I don't get why they don't go after it. Looks like somebody posted the actual U.S. code here. 2 or more persons in any state or territory in any place subject jurisdiction of the United States. Conspiracy to overthrow, put down, or destroy force of government of the United States, or to levy war against them, or to oppose by force the authority thereof, or by force to prevent, hinder, or delay the execution of any law of the United States, or by force seize, take, or possess any property of the United States contrary to the authority thereof, they shall each be fined under this title of imprisonment, no more than 20 years, or both. Yeah. I mean, have we not seen this violated like a bazillion times, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know why more not being done, but politics that Zohran Mamdani is proposing are disastrous for New York. Let's see what they say.
Congressman
I don't watch Newsmax much. I don't really know what their deal is, but
you were talking about that, saying that Cuomo is really basically the lesser of two evils over Mamdani.
Yeah, I hate that argument for any election. By the way, it's such a horrible argument. The lesser of two evils. I don't know a lot about Cuomo. I don't know a lot about New York politics to begin with. I don't really care. Never lived in New York. Never planned on living in New York. But obviously, New York is a big economic epicenter of the U.S. It's got a lot of symbolic meaning to the U.S. And I definitely don't want to see New York destroyed. But yeah, I don't really know if Cuomo's a lesser of two evils, but I hate that argument in politics. I think everybody... here's my big opinion if you guys want it. Everybody should vote selfishly. just vote selfishly. Vote for what is best for you, right? If we do that, then the most amount of people get to be happy, right? The most amount of people get their support, their voices heard. The problem is we generally tend to either do the opposite or at least promote that we're doing the opposite. I don't know if people really are, but you have, people living on welfare that fly Trump flags. You have, elitists in Hollywood promoting every socialist that if their policies really were to take place, they would strip you of everything you have. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't understand why there's so much performative altruism that happens in people's political opinions. Just vote for who makes the most sense for you. Like me, hey, I'm a straight, white, married Christian guy, with children. Like, the right is making way more sense to me right now than the left. And if more people just took that approach, I think a lot more people would be happy.
It's not even close. Tell us what's at stake here.
Well, look, you have an avowed socialist in Zohran Mamdani who engages in Marxist theory, who is anti-Semitic, and the policies that he is proposing will be destructive.
Yeah, no, this just seems like a bunch of name calling. I want some real examples, bud.
And quality of life. He wants to raise
just calling somebody a bunch of names. That's the same thing the left does.
Taxes by $9 billion. He wants to defund the police. He wants to shut down prisons, legalize prostitution, freeze the rent and seize control of private property, and ban private property ownership.
Well, that was a pretty good list, and that's a pretty insane list. Yeah.
He wants government-run grocery stores and free busing.
Yeah, I've heard Zohran talk about both of those. I don't understand how he thinks that gets paid for, but because whenever I've heard him talk about it, his examples on how we can pay for it is like, oh, you just do a little tax here, a little tax here, you increase this person's percentage by 1%. Like, they've been trying to do that since like the First World War, man. Like, taxes were only meant to be a couple percent, and that was to fund the war. And then every year it's, oh, we can add 1% and get this. Oh, we can add 1% and get this. Oh, we can add 1% and get this. And like, that's never what happens. Like, we add the 2%, we don't get the thing, and then some NGO who's, ran by some brother-in-law of the political candidate is the one who gets all that extra money. It's bullshit. It's corruption. Like, there is more than enough money to support far more social services than we have now. The people that want food stamps, the people that want free healthcare, the people that want, free buses or grocery stores or whatever, like, the argument for it can't be to increase taxes, because if you do the budgets, like, there's plenty of money going around. Like, that's what, Elon and the Doge thing found, that I think opened the eyes of a lot of American people to that. Like, there's more than enough money. Like, we bring in a tremendous amount of money, not just from tax dollars, from trade deals, from tariffs, from permits, from land, from all of this stuff. I mean, the government owns assets. I mean, it's insane. We are the richest country in the world, bar none. We could pay for anything. We could pay for, the majority of our citizens to just have a home and live fine and free and still lower taxes. Like, the money's there, right? The people that want to cut government spending ultimately want to do that to lower the tax rate and not support any of these things. And so that's where you got kind of the right and left beef. But at the end of the day, like, there's absolutely no excuse nowadays, in my opinion, to increase taxes. Most people are taxed close to 50% if they make any kind of reasonable amount of money, like any livable amount of money. And all of that money, plus all the other money, the billions Trump has brought in from tariffs and economic stimulus stuff, with having companies invest in the U.S., building factories, jobs, stuff like that. There's so much freaking money, and it's all going into the pockets of politicians and their friends. Why do you think people enter into Congress worth a couple $1,000s and leave worth tens of millions of dollars? I just saw one the other day of Elon Omar that, like, she went from being worth $65,000 net worth to 30 million. I didn't fact check that. I don't know how accurate it is, but I would believe if it's not 30 million, it's probably 10 million plus. And then they'll sit there and argue, she's not worth 30 million. That's fake news. It's ridiculous. Like, no one making 100K a year, 150, 200, 400K a year salary like the president does. Like, look at the Obamas from when they came into office to when they left office, man. How'd they become multi-millionaires? How? Right? Oh, speaking engagements or writing books. It's like, it's bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. They're all just funneling money to their friends and stuff, and using shell corporations and everything. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's zero reason to increase taxes.
This is going to be an absolute catastrophe for New York and will lead to a mass exodus of a state that already leads the nation in outmigration because of Kathy Hochul's disastrous policies at the state level. So this is a big problem. And, you know, from my vantage point today, voters need to get out, not on the basis of party, but on the basis of what is best for New York City. Zohran Mamdani cannot be mayor.
Yeah, what's best on the basis for them? What's best on the basis for them? It looks like Trump had a tweet yesterday. If communist candidate Zohran Mamdani wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be able to contribute federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home. Because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. It can only get worse with a communist at the helm, and I don't want to send, as a president, good money after bad. I actually like that line quite a bit. It is my obligation to run the nation as strong as my conviction that New York City will be a complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I've seen a lot of videos of Mamdani saying a lot of crazy stuff, promising everything in the world free. I don't necessarily think he's actually going to go through with any of that. There's been plenty of candidates, especially from the Democratic Party and from the left, that'll promise the world to the people. Once again, they'll promise the world. They'll say, oh, we just need a 2% tax increase or something, and we can give you all of this stuff. And then they get into office, they get the 2%, and then they say, oopsie daisy, we can't do it because we actually need those funds for blah, 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 for saving the planet. And, you know, it's all going to go to Save the Planet NGO, which, you know, don't worry that my brother's cousin owns that. And now I'm worth $50 million. Yeah, so I don't know if Zohran will actually make New York a capitalist or a communist utopia like the president is saying, but we'll see. Or attempt to be a communist utopia. Here's CNN, one of my favorite lefty news organizations to watch, interviewing people at polls.
City resident, tell me why you decided to vote for Andrew Cuomo.
I decided to vote for Andrew Cuomo because he has a lot of experience. He's been the governor of New York, and I feel like we don't want our city to go in a direction that's not, important for businesses as well as our regular everyday New Yorkers.
Obviously, Mr. Cuomo is not the front runner, according to just about every poll that's out there. You look at Zohran Mamdani is the front runner. What do you think of him as a candidate? And none of the things that he was talking about appeal to you: affordable housing, making health care for children more affordable, free buses.
Dude, you know, I love it when these news organizations try and say that they're not biased, and then you literally have the on-site reporter like campaigning for Zohran at a voting, but like, really, you're voting for Andrew Cuomo over Zohran Mamdani, who's going to give you everything, and instead you're going to vote for the guy who's going to oppress you and whip you and beat you into a submission? Why would you do that? What is mentally wrong with you? Like, come on, dude.
Like, that appeal to you and what you were looking for in a mayor?
Well, I don't think nothing is free.
Based, dude. Hell yeah. Exactly, man. Nothing's free, bro. Like, he's not just going to give all this stuff. He's got to get the money from somewhere. And realistically, if he gets that money, he's just going to funnel it to people in his circle. That's what they do.
You know, with a background in finance and economics and business, I know that it's important that you have to pay for things. Even if you're paying for it at a discounted rate, you need to be able to pay for it.
Dude, this dude, I love, man, this type of shit like restores your faith in humanity a little bit, doesn't it? Because, you know, this reporter went up to this guy thinking like I'm not like, this isn't racist on my behalf. This is racist on CNN behalf, right? But looking at this guy, oh, you have an older black gentleman. He's definitely going to vote for Zohran. Let me go put a mic in his face. And they're getting schooled instead.
I don't think nothing is given free. I think it's important that we all should be able to work. I think job creation is the key to all of it.
I'm really interested what his response is going to be at the end of this. I think he's just going to be like, oh, well, that's it. Back to you.
We must create jobs. We must put our people back to work. New Yorkers need to work. And that's what I think Governor Cuomo will do for us. He'll help us to get our jobs back and help keep our businesses here in the city of New York.
And Mr. Jackson, one final question. What happens if Mr. Mamdani ends up being the city's next mayor? What are your thoughts about what his relationship might be like with President Trump?
I don't know if it's going to be that great, because I think President Trump, definitely wants to make sure that New York is in good hands. He's a New Yorker himself, and I feel like he wants to make sure that New York is in great hands.
I don't know. I'm reading like a little bit of smile on this guy's face, like in his eyes and stuff. I wonder what the reaction he's seeing from behind the camera is when he says this stuff.
So it's important.
Like, you see that? Like,
New York is in great hands.
Hold on.
He's a New
Look at his eyes. You can see him kind of smile when he says that.
New York is in great hands. So it's important that age is important. I feel like we can't run things if we are not in a good age. I think 40 is pretty much the best age to run if you're running for mayor of this great city. If you're younger than 40, I don't think you can really do what we need. Age brings about wisdom.
I mean, I agree age brings wisdom, but I don't think having an arbitrary age requirement, I don't even really like the fact that the president has to be at least 35. But I get it, because there's life experience and there's stuff. Like, as you get older and you grow more, you realize how dumb you were at younger ages. And, that's why, like, you're always supposed to respect your elders and everything else and kind of listen to the wisdom of the past. But I do think, like, the boomers have kind of messed a lot of stuff up. So I think you got to take that and with a grain of salt and kind of balance it with realistically what's best for the scenario. I don't think we should disqualify a 35-year-old candidate just because they're 35, which is kind of what he's saying. But yeah, I do think there is definitely some benefit to having people that are a little bit older, have a little more life experience running businesses, other things like that. But I don't think it should necessarily disqualify a good candidate that's smart and has a good head on their shoulders.
Mr. Jackson, I want to thank you very much for your thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much what I thought. Thanks for your thoughts. Back to you. What do you got? Yeah, I've seen this clip going around a lot. Just figured I'd add it in here. I have seen this one before. It's kind of outrageous in my opinion.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Now, like, the reason this clip has gone so viral and stuff is because his aunt didn't even live in New York at the time. She was living in like Tanzania, and so there wasn't any, like, the whole scenario is fake. But then at the same time, not only is the scenario fake, it's like, why are we talking about like some racism your aunt might have felt when 2,200 people were just killed? Like, I don't understand why that's hard for people to grasp with. Like, a lot of the reason we're in the places we're in with like the white-black relation, it's because most white people understand that, like, slavery and a lot of stuff like that was pretty messed up. and there's a certain amount of guilt that you feel generationally associated with that. I don't think that's necessarily right, because like that's not your fault. Like for me, for instance, my family came over here in the 30s, right? So it literally has nothing to do for me, but I still feel bad for people who went through that. So as a Muslim in New York, like, shouldn't you understand that, like, hey, it's not right that people are treating me this way. It's not right that they're looking at, all Muslims are terrorists or whatever. None of that is right. But I understand and feel bad for the dramatic and traumatic loss that they faced on 9/11, and how horribly emotional of a situation that was for everybody, not only in the city, but in the world, but especially in the city. I mean, I can't imagine. I know how affected I was as a kid on the opposite side of the U.S. I can't imagine being a kid in a suburb of New York or New Jersey or Philadelphia or something like that when that happened, how much that would affect me and how much that would have changed me as a person. And so, like, disregarding all of that and just saying, oh, look at me, victim, I think is what why that went viral and why people are so pissed about that clip. Here's another fun thing about Zohran. He likes to change how he speaks depending on who he's talking to, and NBC actually called him out for this. Pretty interesting.
They hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking.
I haven't seen this clip yet, but I'm hoping they play some examples because it's pretty damn funny.
Accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years.
No, I mean, this is just kind of a funny thing to poke at him about. I think it is kind of fake to a certain extent, especially if he plays it up on politics stuff. I mean, having lived in the country and stuff like that, I think anybody that's lived in the country knows that, when you're talking to other country folk, a little more twang comes out in your voice, right, than it does normally. But yeah, I don't know. He definitely goes a little extreme with it.
Years old. Is there different parts of my life? Worldwide tour is a world.
Oh my God, bro. They just hit me with that one. I wasn't expecting that.
Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour. Yeah.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour back when he was a rapper.
Bro, he's talking. I forget everything I just said. Never mind.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
Oh boy.
In a Disney movie directed by his mother.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that.
Goes a long way. Here in New York City, this is how I speak, this is how I am.
Do you believe in the First Amendment, Tom Homan?
Because I think that New Yorkers, more than they hate a politician they disagree with, they hate a politician they can't trust.
On the subject of trust, you've adopted different speaking accents in different scenarios.
But they go to their local bodega.
Is there one that's real and one that's affected?
What I would say is, as any immigrant knows, having been born in Kampala, Uganda, and then raised in South Africa and moving here when I'm 7 years old, is there different parts of my life? Worldwide tour is a worldwide tour is a worldwide tour. Yeah.
Mamdani was talking about a worldwide press tour.
They just like when they hit you with that clip, right? Or earlier here, dude, that killed me. Like he goes from yes, I talk good. I can't even do the accents. I'll get canceled. But holy moly, that was extreme.
When he was a rapper.
Bring the flavor to the fish, bring the flavor to the rice.
Oh, this is just replaying. Never mind. Okay. I think so.
In a Disney movie.
Goes a long way. Here in New York City, and hard work goes a long way.
Yeah, that's kind of an Indian accent, right? Yeah. Anyway, so he's probably gonna win. I mean, at least it seems like that from everything that's coming out. I don't know if any of the counts are actually in yet. No, they aren't. But yeah, it's a strange world we live in right now. And if you're not voting and you're not taking part in it, then you don't really deserve to complain about it too much. I'm not voting in New York, so I can't say much, but like I said, New York does represent a lot for America, and I think a lot of stuff Zohran has said is crazy and obviously not going to be implemented, and all it's going to lead to is a lot more taxing on people. He's done things such as the talking about taxing white New Yorkers more, and like that, just bringing us back to like Jim Crow era laws, just in a different direction. Like I don't know how you can say that kind of stuff with a straight face in the big 2025, but he does. So anyway, that is my deep dive on Zohran Mamdani and elections today for November 5th. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you subscribe, like down below. Also, I'd love to hear all of your comments. What do you think of Zohran? What do you think of the election in general? Do you have any right to commentate on it since you don't live in New York? What's going on in your local elections? I try and respond to every comment, so drop them down below. But have a great day, guys, and just keep praying, keep going forward, and we'll see how all this turns out. Take care.